From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
We have snow squalls in parts of the state. It is certainly heavier to the west, but we're getting some snow showers moving in here. The cold and wind not helping a bit.
A young father of 6 carjacked in Southfield. The thieves taking his car, his pants, and his shoes.
Plus, searching for answers. A terrible and deadly car accident ties up morning traffic and has investigators scratching their heads. And that does top our news this noon. Thank you so much for joining us. This all started with a wrong-way driver that caused this deadly crash along I-75 just south of I-94 in downtown Detroit early this morning. Michigan State Police are working this noontime to alert the family. Local 4's Rod Maloney joins us now live with the very latest from the scene there, Rod. And do we have any information about the victims and whether or not they were riding in the vehicle of the wrong-way driver or the innocent victims in the other car?
No, we know next to nothing about this accident except that it happened, Rhonda. It happened right down here at I-75 and 94. The wrong-way driver coming northbound in the southbound lane of I-75. And it has the Michigan State Police stumped. They think they may not even find out for sure precisely what happened. The vehicles collided at 3:45 a.m. and 15 minutes later, this sedan with 2 people inside continued burning. There was no way to help them. The other vehicle hung halfway over the Jersey barrier. Firefighters needed to use the jaws of life to get the trapped and seriously injured passengers out. MSP Lieutenant Michael Shaw admits they might not survive.
Preliminary, it looks like this is a wrong-way driver that caused the crash. We don't know which party was the wrong-way driver. We didn't receive any calls into 911 about a wrong-way driver, which is pretty unusual.
This accident so bad, the speed at impact so high, investigators can only use black box information and vehicle inspections to figure out precisely what happened and who was involved.
We're working on identifying exactly what they are. We believe there's an Olds and a Chevy involved. We're going to probably keep the rest of it close to vest right now just for the fact that we're trying to notify the next of kin.
There are no skid marks on the highway. MSP is going to use search warrants to get more information, and they'll use sophisticated impact analysis as well to get an understanding of this terrible and tragic accident.
Unfortunately, with the amount of injuries that are to all parties, all 5 parties involved in there, we may never ever get to talk to any of them to kind of determine what was going on in the vehicles beforehand or what the incidents were. So we're going to have to rely on evidence like that.
Now, you may recall that just 5 days ago, there was another incident of somebody driving the wrong way up I-75 southbound. That was 5 days ago. And so the Michigan State Police are now contacting MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation, to see if perhaps there's a problem with the signage in the neighborhood, because they certainly don't want to have another wrong-way driving incident anytime soon. Reporting live in Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Oh, such a horrible, horrible tragedy. Rod, thank you. A father of 6 fell victim to a carjacking early this morning. This happened in Southfield a little after 3 o'clock this morning. It was a 20,000 block of Westland Drive. This is near 8 Mile and Losser Roads. Sean Lay caught up with the victim, who shares why he believes he survived this ordeal.
This carjacking happened here on Westland. It's right near Evergreen and 8 Mile. The victim telling me that he's a father of 6, and that's what he kept telling the carjackers as they were holding a shotgun to him, that he's a dad. They were taking his SUV, his pants, and his shoes, but telling them that he's a father may have saved his life.
I got babies, I got daughters, and that's all I was really thinking about.
It was an ambush at 3 this morning. Darrell Foster hopped into his black Porsche SUV to head to the gas station that's right around the corner when he saw a blue or green colored older model Chrysler sedan sitting across the street. And then he saw lights coming from that car's dashboard.
Talking about the police lights?
Yeah.
No, they were inside the windshield, like right on the windshield.
And what color were they?
Red and blue. They were like police lights, like they cut them on. I just thought it was the police. No, I thought it was the police, and when they put the light out the window, I rolled my window down to see what was going on, and they had a rifle on the side of the flashlight.
It was a carjacking, 4 men in all, ordering Foster to the ground, removing his belt, taking his Air Jordan shoes and his pants. They also took his black Porsche, Michigan plate number DQH5989. But Foster didn't care about the car. He's a father of 6. He let his attackers know that.
Well, I kept telling him, I said, I got a daughter, man, you know. And then he looked at me. The dude that had the shotgun was like, I'm not gonna do nothing to you.
Foster says he doesn't care about the things he lost in this carjacking. He wanted to keep his life so he can be around for his children. In Southfield, Sean Late, Local 4.
Thank goodness he is alive. Sean, thank you. We are following breaking news on President-elect Donald Trump. He is nominating Wall Street lawyer Jay Clayton to head the Securities and Exchange Commission. If confirmed by the Senate, Clayton would replace Mary Jo White, who served as head of the SEC since 2013. And this just in, after leading the Lions to the playoffs for the second time in 3 years, head coach Jim Caldwell will return as the Lions head coach next season, getting rid of any rumors that might be out there that what might happen with him after the season. The team made this announcement official earlier this morning. Caldwell has led the team to a 27-21 record over the past 3 years and currently holds the best winning percentage of any Lions coach, believe it or not, in the Super Bowl era. This weekend, Caldwell will look to be the first Lions coach to win a playoff game since Wayne Fontes back in 1991 in the Silverdome. And you can catch that playoff game right here on Saturday night. Kickoff is 8:15, and we will be getting you ready for the game, starting with our 6 p.m. newscast, where our Jamie Edmonds will have live updates from Seattle as the Lions prepare for their matchup with the Seahawks. And it's pretty much all we've been talking about around here all week long, Brandon.
Yes.
Just submitting our predictions of what we think will be the outcome.
Right. And Rhonda predicted 22-22.
Yes. I have a very special algorithm. That's how it came out. It's going to be a tie in regulation.
And that can happen in a lot of weird different ways, especially as teams are missing a lot of extra points this year, things like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Lions winning it in overtime, according to your Rhonda Walker. So let's get the Lions outside for a couple of hours today and tomorrow, because it's going to be chilly in Seattle this Saturday and maybe snowing midway through that game. 23 degrees right now here at home. Never good when your wind is higher than your temperature. Winds are 24 miles an hour, and so that wind chill 7 degrees right now, plus wind gusts. You may have to squint a little bit, but trust me, this is a wind gust at Metro Airport, 39 miles an hour, and that's what we've had to contend with. It is not only knocking our wind chills down, maybe some isolated power outages as a result, and dragging these lake effect snow bands. We have this area right here from Northville through Plymouth into Dearborn, that darker blue right there. That can lay down a quick little coating and just make things real slick when it comes to driving. And western, northern lower Michigans, it's even worse. Look at these dark blues filling in winter weather advisories, Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo. If you're heading up to Traverse City, too, really, really dangerous travel conditions. We've got you set, though, for how long this lasts. If you're heading out the door, you need to know. You can find your forecast, your zone. Our 4-zone weather is right there on the weather tab of clickondetroit.com.
All right, Brandon, thank you. And Taylor, the man accused of strangling and trying to sexually assault a 4-year-old, faced a judge. Police fear that he has harmed other children, though. 28-year-old Bernard Bryant was arraigned on criminal sexual conduct charges. Officers were called to the Winsung apartment complex last night. The victim's grandmother said that she heard the girl screaming in another room and found her alone with her uncle. The child's grandfather held him down until police arrived. Bryant was remanded to jail without bond. And a Detroit man will spend up to 15 years behind bars in connection to the carjacking and shooting of an 81-year-old man. 26-year-old Corey Hill was sentenced on charges of carjacking and felony firearms violations. The other charges connected to the shooting and robbery were thrown out in a plea agreement. Herman Garth was leaving a store, one on Joy Road. He was leaving a store on Joy Road when he was beaten and robbed by the two men. After taking his car keys, one of the men shot him in both of his legs. A second man was never identified. A doctor at Henry Ford Hospital was charged today after allegedly groping one of his female students, 26-year-old Ali Hassan Amro. He was charged today with 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct after he allegedly groped a female nursing student back in December. His bond was set at $25,000. He's expected back in court on January 10th. Crews in Fraser trying to contain that moving ground around the massive sinkhole on 15 Mile. These are the live pictures of the site of that sinkhole. Surveyors say that rain from Monday night loosened the ground around the collapsed pipe, but fortunately they don't expect any new changes. State and county leaders will discuss how they're going to pay for the repairs. City Council is going to be meeting tomorrow to figure out when evacuated families can return to their homes and how they will be reimbursed since they've been displaced. So to come here on your Wednesday, it is Wellness Wednesday around here, so we're going to take a look at the dangers of overeating, what experts say you need to do to curb those cravings. And a mass murderer no longer behind bars, why Charles Manson is reportedly not in a California state prison. But first, early morning chaos after a train derails, injuring more than 100 people. Fire and police crews on the scene investigating what they are now saying about this accident and where it happened coming up. Welcome back, everybody. In New York, more than 100 people are hurt after a train derails this morning. The train derailed around 8:30 this morning in Brooklyn. Officials say that the train was traveling about 15 miles per hour when it ran into a bumping block. In total, 103 people were hurt in this accident, although police say all of the injuries were minor. At this point, it's unclear why that train didn't stop. Police are investigating. Convicted murderer Dylan Roof is expected to give a statement at his sentencing today. The Charleston, South Carolina church shooter was convicted of 33 federal charges. Jurors will now decide on his sentence, which could include the death penalty. Roof will present himself today. He's not allowed to approach the jury, the witness stand, or the bench. Prosecutors plan to call close to 40 witnesses, including victims' family members. And convicted mass murderer and cult leader Charles Manson is reportedly in the hospital. According to reports, the 82-year-old is seriously ill and was taken from a California state prison to the hospital on Tuesday. Manson is currently serving a life sentence for his role in a killing spree by his followers. A battle over Obamacare is underway in Washington this afternoon as Republicans are determined to reveal the controversial Health Care Act. Both President Obama and Vice President-elect Mike Pence are on Capitol Hill today. The president trying to save the Affordable Care Act, while Pence is meeting with Republicans to try and get rid of it. With no known replacement plan, lawmakers would be repealing the law and delaying any further action, a move that Democrats say is irresponsible.
It is not acceptable to repeal the law, throw our health care system into chaos, and then leave the hard work for another day.
President-elect Donald Trump says that he wants to keep protections like covering pre-existing conditions and allowing young adults to remain on their parents' insurance. Coming up, the dangers of overeating. On this Wellness Wednesday, our Dr. Frank McGeorge shares some tips with you to keep the cravings down and try and help you meet those resolution goals, Brandon.
Smart that we didn't do that story on Tasty Tuesday.
Right.
Smart planning. Cold, windy, stuck in the deep freeze. Look at these wind chills, 1 below in Pontiac, single digits everywhere else. Dangerous stuff sticking around, but how long are we stuck in the deep freeze? Next. Triple threat from those winds. First thing is wind chills, and then we talk about some snow, which could be a light snow shower, but could also be an isolated snow squall. And with 30 and 40 mile an hour gusts, also the possibility of some isolated power outages from maybe some weakened tree limbs and branches going down on some lines. So we'll keep you updated if any of that starts happening. But see the chop out there on the Detroit River. We've got temperatures in the upper teens to low 20s, but wind chill index here, -1, the wind chill in Oakland County, 3 above in Ann Arbor. The wind chill is 7 at Metro Airport. And these are the gusts. Winds are blowing pretty consistently around 23 to 25 miles an hour. And then you factor in an occasional little push for those holiday decorations and those garbage cans. It can really wreak havoc here. 39 mile an hour gusts at Metro. We've got 37 mile an hour gusts up in Flint. Howell, a 36 mile an hour gust. So we keep the winds around as long as we do. We stay with these dangerous wind chills, single digits, if not colder. Snow squalls and snow flurries, a little bit of everything. 14 degrees for you overnight. Staying on the breezy side, so likely going to see Those wind chills near zero if you're heading out and about early on Thursday. You see the action out here, out west. These are some dark blue snow bands and heavier snow squalls and dangerous stuff. And occasionally a little ribbon or band breaks free like we're seeing over parts of southern Livingston and northern Washtenaw into Wayne. Those can be problematic too, just reducing visibility, but not as bad as what they're seeing out west where we have Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Holland, all the way up the coast and into Traverse City, Gaylord area. They're expecting 4 to 10 inches, if not more, in some spots over the next 12 to 24 hours. And again, you kind of see that we are just on the lighter side of things. We cannot sort of rest on that, knowing that occasionally we will get 1 or 2 of those squalls. Makes things very problematic. Can't see what's happening in front of you, so just proceed with caution and do your best to avoid being outside too long today. Still breezy tomorrow, so we'll have wind chills likely in the single digits. Probably fewer snow showers with lighter winds, but still breezy, still cold all the way through the weekend. It gets warmer next week, Rhonda, and the next storm is Tuesday, and it looks like maybe too warm, could be rain.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Turning our attention to good health and that resolution to lose some weight this year. So many people are making it. And on this Wellness Wednesday, Dr. McGeorge is here with some strategies for you to help you tackle the problem of overeating.
Distracted driving is dangerous, and so is distracted eating. Make a point to start looking at your food. That means taking a break from your computer or phone at lunch and not snacking in front of the TV. You'll enjoy your food more and help your body accurately gauge how much you've eaten. Next, start planning more. Often we overeat when we let ourselves get too hungry. To avoid that, plan out your meals and snacks and try to eat something about every 4 hours during the day. Now, strategy number 3, look for comfort elsewhere. Eating to ease stress, boredom, or other emotions can quickly lead to overeating. Before you dive into your favorite comfort food, pause for 10 minutes and do something else. Take a walk, call a friend, start cleaning out a drawer, do anything. It's often just long enough to let that craving pass. Now finally, instead of a crash diet, consider a flash diet. Start taking a picture of everything you eat and reviewing those photos at the end of the day. It can help you spot patterns like not eating enough green vegetables or portions that are maybe too big. Research also actually finds dieters naturally made better choices just knowing that they would be documenting their meals. Now, to hold yourself even more accountable, commit to sharing these photos with a friend. Back to you.
That's not a bad idea. Thank you, Dr. McGeorge. Also, don't buy that junk food. Don't have it in the house at all, so you're never tempted. Still to come, America has decided what celebrities that they want to live next year, to live next door to them, I should say. Find out this year's most desirable neighbors and see if it's on your list.
Replace.
Okay, so put your thinking caps on. Who would you like to live next door to? Thousands of people voted by answering this question, and it turns out that most Americans want to be neighbors with the Obamas.
A recent survey taken by the real estate company Zillow found that 14% of Americans would choose the Obamas as their first choice for neighbors.
The Obamas barely beat out the second place finisher, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who finished with 13% of the vote.
Rounding out top 5, Chip and Joanna Gaines from HGTV. And in third place, Ellen DeGeneres. In fourth place, Adele, or something like that.
Ellen would be a fun neighbor. I would pick her.
That would be great, too. And she lives right by Jamie Foxx, so you're just,
you'd be having a blast. The Obamas
barbecue.
might be giving up a little privacy. They'll probably have a lot of drive-bys.